Hello, everyone. I'm just trying to see. Is that a snake or stick? I play this game every summer. It is World Snake Day today, and I heard rumours that we had a snake on one of our cameras. Is that a snake or stick? Yes. Or is it a lizard? No, I think that's a lizard. Anyway, hello. Welcome to Live at the Waterhole. My name is Kelly. I am going to be with you for the next couple of hours. I'm leaning really far forward to try and work out what that is. Please do remember we are live and interactive for the next couple of hours. Because it is World Snake Day today, I think everyone should send your stories about any snake encounters you have had. Send everything through to us here at wildearth.tv/questions. No, that's a monitor lizard, I think. I'm still trying to work it out. You're welcome to join the conversation and help me to work out if this is indeed a lizard or a snake on X using #WildEarth. No, I feel like that's a monitor lizard. It that fat body, and it almost looks like there's a fin down the tail. I could be completely wrong. Send me your thoughts and your comments through via WhatsApp +27 786 302 336. That nose looks too blocky for us. Yes, there we go. Okay. Whoa, it's a big monitor lizard though. Just saw that tail move. Shave, sorry, FC, you were so excited that was a snake. But I will definitely take this alternative reptile.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. My scariest moment is when it happened twice. The other time I was with Cedric and the other time I was with Steve. And all those times, it was a black mamba. My favorite meal in camp is gonna be burger and chips.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Okay, sorry if anyone lost my sound briefly there. Fortunately, we still have this monitor. It has been confirmed. Kim Fastino also believes it's a lizard, as does Penelope Kenyon. Hi Penelope, how are you doing? Mercedes Bean, greetings Wild Earth and Chatters. Hello, happy Wednesday. Thank you very much, Mercedes Bean. Penelope Kenyon, hello Zoomies. Hello, hello. Lovely beach day at KZN there on the north coast. Enjoy your beach day. I'm just watching this. This monitor might be hunting, you know. Although that face on, that really does look a little bit like a cobra, almost. Like a hood of a cobra. Catherine, hello Catherine. You're saying hi Kelly and Mika. Thank you very much for joining us today, Catherine. And a fabulous sighting of a monitor lizard on World Snake Day. So if anyone didn't catch at the start, is that a massive hippo behind it? I thought that was a rock. If anyone didn't catch at the start, because today is World Snake Day, please send me through all of your snake stories. When did you last see one? Have you ever seen one? What would you do if you did see one? A day to celebrate these fabulous reptiles, so often so terribly misunderstood. Please send all of your experiences through to wildearth.tv/questions. I know there are people with us from all over the world, so it doesn't have to be an African snake. Australian viewers, I'm pretty sure you will have maybe bumped into one on your travels, although my first visit to Australia I actually went looking for snakes and failed to find it. So I think we must join in the World Snake Day party and celebrate these amazing animals. There's a snoozy hippo there behind this monitor lizard. I'm guessing it's a rock monitor, and I'm going on the I normally do it on either pattern, but that can sometimes be dangerous in identifying lots of things if you do it on colour or pattern, because there are so many geographical and genetic variations in so many things, not just snakes or reptiles. The way I normally do it is if it's got a sort of a stubby nose. I always remember water monitors, to me, have a more sort of elongated pointy nose. Okay, there is one other thing I would like to address. At the end of my last set of Live at the Waterholes, it was fed back to me that I said penguins had been suckling. Now, I wouldn't rule it out. My brain does sometimes wander, but I just wanted to clarify, I do not believe that penguins suckle in any way, shape or form. They are birds. Mammals suckle, birds do not. As far as I know, penguins the parent birds will sort of regurgitate fishy mush for the chicks. So if I did indeed say that penguins suckle, my brain must have been in a completely different place. So I apologise and would like to formally confirm that penguins do not suckle, nor do I believe that they do. Melanistic marble. Yes, you did wake up this morning thinking it was kind of fun if it had only been in the dodgems. Ollie the oxpecker. You were at your game farm and went for a walk and saw one in the far distance. That's where you saw a snake. They're everywhere, hey? Snakes are everywhere, but we often don't see them. They often move away from us. They have minimal interest in us. We are not food for them. They do not want to hurt us. As with so many animals or species out, very often defense, and snakes do not want to hurt us. I do believe that 100%. Melanistic marble. You've only seen the little green snakes you get in the wooden posts. You get in the wooden posts of lodges in Africa. That's a very specific location for these little green snakes. But there's a couple it could be, depending on where in Africa you are. But I've also seen a green snake in a post in a lodge in Africa. So yeah, I hear you. Mercedes Bin, when you were a young child, one Easter, your mum found a baby garter snake during the egg hunt. She named it Schlep. She gave it to your uncle and it lived a long time until my uncle actually left. I think lots and lots and lots of people do have stories about snakes. Obviously there are some countries and areas where you are more likely to cross paths with our slithery friends than others. Julian Thomas, yes, I do not doubt this at all. Julian Thomas, biggest snake you've ever seen was in Australia, a carpet python on Mount Glorious in Brisbane. Oh, I'd love to go there. Mount Glorious, that sounds brilliant. You had to move it off the road. Australia does have some big snakes. Africa's got some pretty big ones, and also in the rainforest jungles, anacondas are also pretty large. But Julian Thomas, the biggest snake I've ever seen was in the Sabi Sands, but it was actually spotted by my guests who were Australian. It was a python. It must have been... 3.5 meters. And it was probably as thick as my waist. And it was completely straight. I didn't even recognise it as a snake, nor did my tracker. And my Australian guest said, "Cool, look at that snake." And I was like, wow, its head must have been the length of my forearm. Normally when I scan for snakes, I look for something sort of, hose pipe-like and slithery, but this python was enormous, and my brain didn't even register that it was a snake. Well, this monitor lizard and this hippo are clearly both enjoying the sunshine here at the hide. Let's head over to El Doño. I've missed El Doño. I would like to know what is happening across there. We have an elephant having a drink at El Doño. Has he got like a bump on the back of his leg there or something? Oh, this is this guy with the damaged trunk. I remember this guy now, bless him. Watch how he drinks. Maybe a little bit slower than some of the other elephants, but he's clearly managing to get water, so that's brilliant. Damage to the tip of his trunk there. Look at that. Look how he did that. That was really good camera work. Thank you for that. It looks like there is a gap in that trunk where it's damaged, but let's watch again. He puts it in and then sort of turns it sideways so the water doesn't come out of where that space is. Nature's amazing, hey? How he's learnt to do that. So he will tip that damaged edge up, facing it up, and scoop so the water doesn't come out of that space. Shame, boy, it's a little bit slower, but he obviously manages it. Oh, nature is incredible. How are we doing with our snaky updates? Yeah, see, you can see where that damaged point is. It's not wet, and he will face that gap up. There you go, and hardly any comes out. He looks fine. He looks in good condition, but I do remember seeing this boy here at El Doño before. Okay, Mr. Elemental, you've almost stepped on numerous tiger snakes. A very venomous snake, but beautiful. I've actually seen those tiger snakes, absolutely stunning snakes. SKP, how would you identify if the snake is dangerous or in a good mood? SKP, don't. I would suggest just avoid all of them. I was taught very early on in my career by two of my fabulous mentors, don't play with snakes, leave them alone. That was the end of the discussion. So SKP, how would I identify if the snake is dangerous or in a good mood? I wouldn't. I would just leave all of them alone. Whether that snake is dangerous or not is none of my business, and I just steer clear. If they are obviously in household scenarios where they might need to be removed, you can identify different snakes using head shapes, scale patterns, colorations, various different techniques. But as a rule, if it's a snake, leave it alone. Catherine, you've seen a Burmese python in India earlier this year. They're beautiful. Also black mamba and puff adder in South Africa, all from the safety of the car. Exactly. I fully support this from the safety of the car. Catherine, I know there are lots of people out there. If they see a snake, they will jump out and go and look at it. Just rather leave him be. But Burmese pythons, I bet that was a beautiful snake. It's amazing this how nature manages this geographical speciation of different things. So there's pythons in Africa, in India, all different locations over the world, but they all sort of fill the same niche, just in different areas. Ooh, let's go and have a look if our monitor is about to eat something. I would be very keen to find out what it's going to eat. Let's go have a look. Enjoy your drink, boy. Oh no, I'm changing my mind. What's that? I might be reconsidering my shout on rock monitor. I have no idea what's going on here. No, that nose doesn't look quite as stumpy to me now. And I'm starting to see some patterns on the front of the chest. My screen is a little bit pixelated. Whatever it is, it's a monitor lizard and it's doing something with something. Ah, yes. Send in your thoughts. That is... no, I think maybe it is a catfish, hey? Maybe that monitor is eating it looks like maybe a catfish head. That's a big monitor lizard though.
I met this remarkable rhino bull, whose name is Samson, last year in a place of extraordinary beauty, history and story. I'm going back there to see him in October, and I think you should come with me to his mysterious mountain fastness.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. I really want to film an artwork, and it has been my goal. I'll be just keeping my eyes open. The worst driver is Jen. He's driving, yeah. You gotta be holding on back in there, yeah? Like in bumps, and I mean, it happens when these things happens when you're actually going for animals usually. But then, yeah, he's driving, yeah. You gotta put your seatbelt.
Step away from your daily stress and escape into nature with Wild Earth. Immerse yourself in the wilderness and become part of the natural landscape. Watch as everything comes alive. Join us as we slow down our thoughts, put aside our distractions, and reconnect with the wild.
Lucy, Cordy, you're asking how many litres of water does an elephant drink in a day? It depends on all the usual things. How hot is it? How big is the elephant? What's it been feeding on? Somewhere between 150 litres up to 150 litres a day. But it varies wildly. They are very water dependent though. Elephants, you'll often find them, certainly in these areas where water is available, they'll definitely drink every day. Okay, I am changing my shout on this to a water monitor. That nose doesn't look stubby enough now. I've seen a side profile. And I'm fairly sure this is a... No, I'm not fairly sure, that was a lie. See, that does, when it flips it over like that, that does look like a catfish head. Not particularly selective feeders, these monitors. They'll eat anything from insects to snakes to small mammals, crabs, eggs, and leftovers by the looks of it. But when it was stood at that water's edge, it did look to me like that prolonged head up posture. Their sort of natural head carriage is sort of slightly sort of flatter, more in line with their body. It did look to me, when I said it looked like it might have been hunting, it could maybe sense that this bit of possible catfish head was maybe on the menu. Julian Thomas, you've said you've told this story before. That's okay. We all like a good story. But in the Valoran Flay, in the Highfell Jaw, main guide heard a noise, and as he was about to take his next step, narrowly avoided treading on a puff adder. Puff adders are notoriously stealthy. They do. According to statistics, there are more bites from puff adders than any other snake because of their amazing camouflage and stealth tactics. And their habits, they do often position them, they do regularly position them close to game paths. It's one of the ways they will hunt. So yeah, they do cause a lot of bites, those puff adders. And Julian, you're also saying we only have 3 snake species in the UK and only one of them is venomous, so we're not really used to dealing with them. I hear you. After growing up in England, like if someone ever saw an adder anywhere, there was an outcry and messages were communicated and all the rest of it. But yeah, I moved here and snakes are a bit more commonplace now. Dark Main Lover, hello, good afternoon. You're saying good afternoon to all of you. And I'm glad you have joined us. Thank you for your welcome. Sarah UK, I couldn't decide if it was a lizard or a fat snake that had eaten something from a distance. That's exactly what I was doing. It was the high head that was saying lizard to me. Snakes, they will sometimes lift their heads up like that. But not for long. They do, it will happen sometimes, but it was the head up for that prolonged period of time. And then also I saw that almost that fin on the tail there as well. There's lizards. Yeah, that's got to be catfish, I'm sure. Oh, he's having a blast with that. This lizard's actually quite vulnerable out here. In this open area, a prime target for a big eagle or something like that would come down and make a delicious feast of this big fat juicy lizard. That catfish looks a little bit crispy from here. But please do keep your snake stories coming in. An animal lover, you are asking, do they have teeth? Do monitor lizards have teeth? Yes, because I've been bitten by one. And I had teeth marks, which is how I know. I've actually got a really interesting story about my monitor lizard encounter. I have told it before, but it still fascinates me. I was bitten by a rock monitor about 8 years ago. It was on the lawn in our staff area, and everyone was finishing up with work, and some people had pet dogs, and I didn't want anything to happen to the monitor, so I was trying to sort of shoo it away off the grass into the bushes to keep it safe, and it wouldn't move, so I went to, foolishly now, I certainly wouldn't do it again, to pick it up to move it, and it turned around and it bit me on my, if you look at your hand, so where your thumb is and where your pointy finger is, it bit me on that fleshy bit of skin there, and there was a teeny tiny little bit of blood, but not much. It definitely caused a break in the skin, so that's how I know they've got teeth. And I sort of shushed it away, it slapped me with its tail, and off it went, and I sat down in the sun for a while, and I started feeling like I'd really over-exercised. That sort of tightness in muscles, but I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it'd been because I was sitting on a hard concrete floor. And I went to see a friend, and after about half an hour, I said, I feel really strange. I said, I feel like I'm getting flu, and like my jawline was really sensitive to the touch. I kept sort of touching my jaws and going, no, and I didn't think anything of it at all. I just thought, no. So I went home, but I said to the other boys on the guiding team, I said, I feel a bit weird, I'm going to go to bed, but if I don't turn up in the morning, come and knock for me to make sure I'm okay. I said, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to go to bed. And I woke up in the morning. I thought I'd have flu or I'd be sick or something like that, and I wasn't. Yeah, this is definitely a catfish. This is a good meal. I wonder who's left this here. And I woke up in the morning and I felt absolutely fine. And I thought, wow, that was weird. I'd never felt like I had done the night before. And so I started tracking back. I was thinking, have I eaten something? Have I come into contact with anyone that's sick? And I couldn't think of anything, and I went through I actually wrote down what I'd done the entire day because I was fascinated. And then I got to the point I was bitten by a lizard. And I thought, that's something that happened to me yesterday that doesn't normally happen. And I contacted a leading herpetologist in Southern Africa, very, very knowledgeable, well known in our circles, and he confirmed that monitor lizards actually carry a type of venom. It's not lots of people think it's, they carry bacteria as well, but they also carry a type of venom. And he said I'd been envenomated by this monitor lizard, and he took my age and a time scale and my weight and all sorts of things. So that is how I know that A, they've got teeth, and B, monitor lizards are slightly venomous. Happy World Snake Day. Tony Watford. When you're a kid over 60 years ago.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Full name is Maxine Gaines. Most people that know me really well call me Max. I'm a mum. I have two boys. One is 16 years old and one is 14 years old. I'm a very, very proud mama of my two boys. I've just always been passionate about leopards. I'm passionate about their conservation. I'm just passionate about everything to do with leopards. I love them.
Chidzana na tsima ra ntumbuluko Lovukazi ya xitsundzuxo hosi ya rhumela.
How cool is this?
Cover. Because an eagle would see that outline of a nice big fat lizard from high in the sky, and he would be tickets. He's found himself a good meal. I agree, Dark Main Lover. This is a veritable feast. Okay, apologies. Tony Watford, I would like to come back to your story at the Devil's Punch Bowl. I know the Devil's Punch Bowl. I've also been there. When you were walking ahead, you encountered an adder on the path and you're terrified. Now that you're older, you've got a better understanding of them and wonder how I would react. Tony, it's probably... It makes sense. We weren't exposed to snakes in England. They were all going to kill us because we didn't know any better, and we hadn't spent time around them, we hadn't watched them. If you see a snake, then it's panic. But yeah, even often I've had guests when they come on drive, they're like, they're snakes, and I'm like, yeah, they're snakes. They're like, oh no. So they've got no interest in us. Even if you actively look for snakes, if I was driving full time, so 2 game drives a day for a month, in the summer I would be lucky if I saw 5 snakes, 8 snakes, doing 2 game drives a day, twice a day. They just don't, if anything, it's more common in my opinion to see snakes around homes and rooms and lodges than it is out in the bush, because there's more for them to eat, and they haven't got as much space to move away. In the bush, they hear us coming, they hear cars coming very, very quickly, and they're off. I'm sure you'd react differently now, Tony. Sadea, do monitor lizards eat eggs and young of their own kind? Probably. Monitors, they're not very selective eaters. So yeah, I haven't got it confirmed, but my gut would say probably yes. Wow, Helga, that's super interesting. I have never heard that, but you say it's been witnessed. How fascinating. I'm going to make a note to do some more reading on that. You're saying that monitor lizards suck milk from cattle's udders so that the teats bleed, and you say that's been witnessed. I've never heard of it, I've never seen it, but I'm sure if they can, like, this monitor would have smelt this catfish, if they can smell milk, if they can smell some sort of food source, then yeah, I wouldn't put it past them at all. But I'd like to do some more reading around that. Monitors and udders is what I'm going to write down. Lady Macbeth, you have an alien in Wales. I read the first line of that. I thought, oh wow, what sort of alien? The Asclepian snake. I've never heard of an Asclepian snake either. It's not doing any environmental damage, so it's being left to get on with its quiet life. I didn't know that either. It's amazing how, but yeah, the problem with invasive species, lots of alien species, be they plants or animals or insects, we often don't realise what's going on until there's a problem. But I've never heard of that either. I'm going to put that on my list as well. More homework. I agree, Mahesh. Good afternoon to you, Mahesh. Thank you for joining us. This monitor is really devouring this fish. He's definitely getting a very... Oh no, as I say that, has he had enough? Oh, maybe he thought he'd had enough and changed his mind. Dark Mane Lover, yes, it does look very much like a Komodo dragon. Those Komodo dragons, they carry... Are they also venomous? I know they carry horrific bacteria, but they are dragons on Earth. Fascinating to watch those feeding frenzies of those Komodo dragons. They are. I would love to see one of those. But yeah, I've watched a few documentaries about them. Penelope Kenyon, your brother-in-law worked at the close to Sabi River. You often met pythons on the pathways and black mambas in the thatched roofs at the bungalows. Yes, I have been in similar situations at lodges. I had a couple of awesome pythons, but the reason snakes are often found around human areas is there's stuff for them to eat. Bats, mice, rats, where there's humans, there's rubbish. Where there's rubbish, there's rodents. Where there's rodents, there's snakes. Fascinating sighting of this monitor, though. Junpuro, you think we must continue to monitor this situation? This is a very well-sized lizard.
Join me, Andrew Wistenholm, for an indescribable 6-night stay in the beautiful Albany of the Eastern Cape at Amakhala Game Reserve. Now, this trip is going to be action-packed with a lot of storytelling, adventure, as well as the opportunity to make everlasting memories. We'll be exploring the best of Amakhala by staying at 2 luxury lodges, which will be the perfect blend of comfort as well as wilderness. Book your spot today, and let's get ready to explore the wild beauty of Amakhala.
Oh, even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. This is action-packed.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Best part of the job, gosh, I just love everything about guiding. I love being able to observe animal behavior and animals behaving naturally. So for me, that's by far the best part of the job. And so what we do here at Wild Earth is develop those connections with the people that are viewing and maybe just light a little spark that says, you know what, I want to be involved in protecting this ecosystem.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Or maybe, oh, there we go. Is he going to get in for a swim? Oh, that will be super cool to see. June Peru, I just caught your joke. I apologise. You think you must continue to monitor this situation. I was really slow. I apologise. I get it now. Monitor the situation. Monitor. Look, the duck is going to swim. This is such a cool sighting. There we go. That is super cool. I'm finding it quite difficult to get a scale on this lizard. I know we saw a scale. that wasn't even intentional. To get a size on this lizard. I know it was in front of a hippo, but it was quite difficult, but I can't work out how big this monitor is, but it's big, including its tail. I mean, it must be well over a metre, probably a metre and a half. I don't know, I'm not sure, but it was definitely well sized. But what a fabulous sighting that was. He's gone. Snack time. And then off into the water. That was very, very nice to see. Let's head across to Moella. Now we've joined, wow, we've been with that monitor for almost an hour. Cool wildlife sightings really do make time fly. Actually that's bigger than a metre. Look, you can see where those tail ripples are. Let's go over to Moella, and maybe we'll see this big guy here again. But yeah, definitely confirmed. Water monitor, snacking on some catfish. Yeah, let's head across to Moella. I think this guy's going to be in the water for a while, but we can maybe come back here and see if he emerges later. Wow, look at this. This is an amazing spot, actually, this camera. This is so nice seeing such high numbers of these. Well, there's lots and lots and lots of zebra here. Wildebeest zebra, they do pass through this area. About 30,000 animals will pass through this Buteti River area. look as far as that I can see. Can any of the zoomies or anyone at FC tell me if there's been much predator activity here recently? I'd be interested to know if there's been any predators seen in this area, because there is definitely an abundance of food resources here. Okay, Penelope Canyon, lizards cannot digest milk. They lack enzymes to break down lactose. Interesting. I was neither refuting any statements from anyone, because I don't like to do that before I have... Oh, is that a kudu? I'm going to look into it further. I'm going to also put lizard lactose. My homework is lizard lactose monitors and udders. Definitely something to look into further, Penelope. Interesting. Thank you very much for that update, Zumi. Just seen some jackals and hyenas when a wildebeest died. I don't actually know this Buteti River area at all, if I'm honest. I've never been here. So I'm not quite sure of the predator density or that sort of thing. But if I was a lion, I'd be around here somewhere. Because look at those tracks where the animals have been coming and going to water. I'm not too sure of the exact time frames that these animals are likely to stay in this area. But yeah, I would most definitely be here if I was a predator right now. So please do keep your snake stories coming in. Happy World Snake Day. I actually really enjoy watching snakes from a distance in the car, whoever that was that said it earlier, or over there. I know lots of people will let snakes... Well, I had a boomslang in my carport. It was hunting flycatcher chicks. It was actually quite a sad sighting. I was very much torn, but I didn't. I'll tell you all what I did, but don't shout at me for it. There was a boomslang and it was hunting flycatcher chicks that were in a nest in my carport, and I watched. I didn't do anything. It's nature. And the boomslang took one of the chicks out the nest and flopped down onto the car and slithered off with a chick in its mouth. But there was another chick that fell out of the nest and landed on the car bonnet. And they were very close to fledging. So what I did do is I picked that chick up and put it back in the nest. It was really, really hot. The car bonnet was really, really hot, and I couldn't bear to see this little chick die or cook on this car bonnet. So I just quickly picked it up and put it back in the nest above the car. That was my intervention, and I didn't go back over there. But 2 days later, that chick had gone. Whether or not the snake came back and ate it, or it indeed fledged, I don't know. But I do enjoy watching snakes from a distance. I find them fascinating because I don't understand them particularly well. I struggle to read them like I would mammals. So a rather large elephant here on his way after having a drink. Or maybe he's on his way to have a drink. Look at this little one. Little ginger. Looks like he's got a little ginger mane going there. There's lots of youngsters here, hey? Look. Quite barren, this area, but often we find areas around water because of all the footfall. See, some of these zebra look pregnant to me. The footfall in these areas often determines the amount of vegetation that's present. That footfall, that constant footfall, will stop grasses from getting very far. Caitlin, you're asking, are the waterholes generally more full with animals in the summer? Yeah, it depends. It depends how you look at it. There's in certainly my area of operation, which is I've spent many years in Madikwe and in the Lowveld of South Africa. In my experience, there's more animals around water in the winter because the water resources are less. So lots of the natural pans dry up. In the summer, there's often natural pans and puddles and things all over the place. And then in the winter months, when the rains have ceased, despite the fact that the temperatures have dropped, there is less water. So those animals need to congregate. If you've got 100 zebra and 10 waterholes, there might be 10 zebra at each waterhole. But if there's only one waterhole in the winter, all of those zebra need to go there. So in my experience, certainly in my general areas of operation, I find waterholes to be busier in the winter months because there's not as many for them to choose from. But there are different. I'm actually learning a lot with these cameras. We've got cameras that, like this Poteti River area. I've spent some time in Botswana, but very close to the Limpopo River in Mashatu. I actually did my training in Mashatu. But these cameras is actually teaching me. They're teaching me a lot about different areas. There's different climates all the way even across South Africa. And then you start moving into East Africa, Kenya. Again, the seasonal changes are completely different to they are in my normal area of operation. So it's a good learning curve for me as well. Often you see these foals with little tinges of ginger in their manes. We do sometimes see very occasionally zebras that stay much more pale, so their dark doesn't get as dark. But look how different these stripe patterns are on these two zebra here. All have completely unique stripes. They say that female zebras will sort of almost circle their little ones when they're first born, so they get very familiar with their individual stripe pattern. Frick, you're asking, do zebras fight for dominance? Males? Yes. Brutally, in fact. But I'm gonna have a look at my book I've got here. This book I use is actually really nicely written. But the more I think about it, the more everything depends. Male zebras will batter each other when it comes to breeding rights, and females, they're actually zebras are quite mean. But if you've got a male zebra and his females and his little zebras that are off, in their own group, then within that group, no, you've just got the one leader. But I want to see how they phrase it in this book. They phrased it as the harem owner. So the males will challenge each other and then return to their respective herds. Dominance displays, high steps, broadside displays, biting, so the same as exactly as you would see the same as horses, those ears back, that neck stretched. Chasing behaviours. Chasing behaviours are often seen between members of bachelor herds and during battles to abduct fillies in heat. Biting, kicking, slashing, leg biting. There's actually 2 pages of aggression in zebras in this book. So that was the long answer for it. Do zebras fight for dominance? Short answer is yes. Something else you do often see in zebras and horses, I know it from horses, a sign of submission in horses and zebras, and you often see young, and you see zebras doing it. There's enough zebras here that if you watch long enough, you'll see one of them do it. Young animals will often show signs of submission, or even not young animals. If it's a dominance fight and someone backs down, they stretch their neck out, sort of stooped. They stoop their neck and they will almost mouth, but very, very gentle, sort of a mouthing behaviour.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
Would you like to know what an elephant's favorite food is? You could ask me questions like that in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive from the heart of Africa. The over here. Watch Safari Live and connect with nature.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a salesman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on this reserve.
Expecting the unexpected. Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
So we have another giant of Mabula. That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Riding, it's actually very, very cool. And they tried to tame a zebra for a film once, captive born. They didn't sort of scoop it out of the wild or anything, and they had to give up. Even a captive born zebra was having absolutely nothing to do with anything they wanted it to. So they did not progress with that particular thing. But yeah, zebras are wild. And they can be super, super aggressive as well. Beautiful scenes here at Moella on the Boteti River, but I think let's go across to Aldonio. We've got some more zebra across there, maybe not quite so many, but you never know. And I think we might have a giraffe also grabbing a drink across at Aldonio. Let's see if this giraffe is going to grace us with a drink. I always hold my breath when giraffes drink. Oh, that looks so ungainly. Oh, look at that tiny... Is that a tiny little gemsbok that just came in behind there? Could you see those? Is that a baby gemsbok? Or was I seeing things? Did anyone else see if that was a... I saw something skittle away. from the water. I want everyone to keep your snake stories coming. Celebrate our slithery companions. Oh, look how that giraffe's leaning with those legs. Oh, that's ungainly. Click, click. So yeah, keep your snake stories coming in on World Snake Day. Chris, are there any fish in the waterholes? Sometimes. Quite frequently, in fact. There is definitely a fish at the hide. Well, it wasn't in the waterhole anymore, but we are pretty convinced that that water monitor was feeding on a deceased catfish, which I can only assume would have come out of that waterhole. Alrighty, let's head over to Camelthorne. We've been seeing some really interesting goings on across there at Camelthorne. So let's hop in and we will see what we've got going on there today. Unless I'm mistaken, that gully looks deeper than it was last time I saw it. And the last time I saw it, it had a massive elephant chiseling away at it. So that would make complete sense if it was. It's a very orderly queue. So please do send us through your thoughts and your comments and your snake stories. Engage with us on any of the mediums you see there on the left of your screen. That wasn't joking, it was it, boy? Ah, there we go. I wonder if he did that because he didn't like the first trunk fall. Maybe there was some silt in there or something. I've got no idea what that bird is. It sounds like maybe a starling. Yeah, maybe a starling. I had a very weird bird sound at where I am yesterday morning, and it sounded like an angry seagull. But after a process of elimination, we actually worked out it was the trumpeter hornbill, but not doing that standard. Normally sounds like a crying baby sound. Yeah, it sounded like a seagull. Very weird. But yeah, this sounds like it might be a starling calling here at Camelthorne, up there in Botswana. And rotate. That bull who's just left is definitely the more mature of the two. Hence why little Cheppy at the back there has patiently waited his turn. I assume it's a he. Michelle. Yes, I often, when the temperatures aren't too bad at the moment, I'm really enjoying the winter this year. Beautiful temperatures here in the Lowveld. I would assume not too dissimilar up in Botswana, but it must feel so good on them when they have that splash. But when you see animals, when it's up in the 40s, 40 plus degrees, I don't know how they're not all in the water all the time. You see elephants. There's one reserve I've worked in quite regularly, not too far from here. Or is this an even bigger boy coming in? And give way. And the elephants swim in the dams there, and then they get out. It's like, wow, I would so be staying in there if I was that elephant family, but it must feel so good cooling themselves off. See how polite was that? Is this going to be as polite? Lifting his leg there. I always think elephants, I view that as they're having a bit of a think. Asked to move. Request agreed. Shame, did that younger one actually get a chance to have a drink? Hippo joining in. I love watching body language. Oh, there's lots of chattering going on over there. Oh, there's not as many hippos there from when I was last here. There was like a platoon of hippos. It's probably not a... What is a group of hippos out the water called? I'm sure I counted upwards of 50, but numbers have dropped a little bit, strangely. Platoon? What's a group of hippos out the water called? I don't think it is a platoon, but yeah, numbers have definitely reduced here. That sounds like a pearl spotted owlet, which is unusual. Dylan, you're asking, do elephants fight with members from other herds? Not if they can help it. That's where they all are. That makes more sense. They're in the water, where I would more expect hippos to be. Dylan, not if they can help it. It's more in elephant society. You will get bulls that will fight for reproductive rights, but it's not really about that they're not part of their family group. It's more a male fighting for breeding rights than inter-herd fights. I'm just trying to think if I've ever seen females. Not really. I don't think I've ever really remember seeing female elephants fight with each other. They'll sort of, if a male is being bothersome, they might give him a head shake. But animals, Dylan, animals don't really want to fight ever unless they have to. It's normally it's almost always resources, whether that is food or water or breeding. And even then, you saw how beautifully politely those elephants passed each other. They don't want to fight. If every animal was fighting with every other animal all the time, then none of them would survive. And as you all know, one of my favourite topics is behaviour and communication, animal communication, how animals communicate with each other, how animals communicate with us, and how perceptions of animal emotion or animal affect with an A. Animal affect is basically animal emotion. And they don't want to, because they'll hurt each other. I've said it before that I've been in sightings with two male lions, two dominant territorial male lions lying 200 metres away from each other, roaring their lungs out at each other, and in the end one of them stopped and wandered off. That was how they resolved whatever that interaction was, because if they properly get stuck into each other, and they do, one, if not both of them, come out seriously injured, which no one wants, really. And if you can resolve things with a tail flick or an ear flick or a shoulder drop or a heckles up or a lip raise, then it's definitely the more sensible way to go. Tracy, these hippos are indeed being very vocal. We got some great sounds across there at Moala as well with the zebras, and these hippos are being very vocal. I also enjoy listening to the sounds coming from the waterhole. There's some crocodiles. Oh. Is he going to chase them? No. See, look at that. How's that for cohabiting? I mean, these crocodiles aren't a threat to this hippo. They wouldn't even manage to bite one of his ears off, I don't think. But still, technically, crocodiles have been known to predate on small hippos, and equally, as everyone knows and all the books say, hippos can bite crocodiles in half with one bite. That hippo and those crocodiles didn't even glance at each other. They just quietly kept themselves to themselves, minded their own business. Yeah, we're having a pool swap. Daniel, you're asking, what is a unique behaviour of hippos in the water? I'm just trying to think what they do that no other animal does. They can close their, I nearly said, noses. They can close their noses underwater, but other animals can do that as well. Little ones will suckle underwater as well. I think it's quite interesting that despite the fact that hippos spend a high proportion of their time in the water, he's having a drink. Despite that, they very, very rarely eat anything in the water. Very, very occasionally, according to records, they might have a nibble on a little bit of vegetation in there, but like less than 1% of that is their diet. And lots of people mistakenly believe that hippos eat fish. They absolutely don't. So I think that's probably quite unique, is that they don't feed where they spend a lot of their time, which is in the water. I wonder if these hippos have got a drinking pool and a resting pool. I wonder who enforces that rule if it is there, but it would make sense because that hippo just came out of the water, I assume, or maybe he's been up on the bank. Maybe this is the drinking pool. There is, of course, the story about why the hippo doesn't eat fish. The story goes that when all the animals were working out where they were going to live, way when time first began, the hippo was told, no, you can't live in the water, you'll eat all the fish, there'll be no fish left for the other animals because you're so big. And the hippo said, no, I won't eat all the fish. Please let me live in the water. My skin is very sensitive and I'm heavy, and the water will take the weight off my feet and it will help me to keep my skin supple. And the hippo was told, no, you're going to eat all the fish. You can't. And the hippo said, okay, well, maybe I'll make you a deal. How about I come out at night and I feed on the land, and when I come out at night, I will spread my dung with my tail so you can check to see if there's any fish bones in there. And that's the story of why the hippo comes out at night and spreads his dung. So it can be confirmed that the hippo hasn't been eating all the fish. A dark mane lover, yes, they are absolute monsters. I don't trust any animal really, because they're animals. But I've always struggled with hippos because I haven't watched them a lot. I'm pretty sure I could tell. I mean, you get the odd random occasion, but it is great to see them out of the water, dark mane lover. But we don't get to see it often. And because of that, I don't feel like I understand hippo body language or communication as well as a lot of the other animals. I'd like to think I could probably tell 80% of the time how an elephant, or if an elephant was feeling cross at least. But hippos, I've probably spent actually in the flesh maybe 5%, and I suppose we see that maybe 15% of my hippo viewing has been out of the water, and the other 85% has been watching them when they've been in the water. Yeah, that's definitely a starling. Getting some human voices on that mic there a little bit, but look at these. Oh, yes, let's go to that black eagle. I would love to go over there, please. I would love to see what's happening there. While these hippopotami... Ah, look at the little one. Snooze nice. He's like, oh wow, this is the first time I've been here. Wow, look at this image. I remember when these eagles were choosing which nest site. That is so cool. How can anyone tell me when this chick hatched? Like the date? Wow, they're amazing birds. Well, the big one is, the small one's not quite found its form. What's that? Bit of food leftovers maybe. How stunning is that black eagle though? I've never... Oh, look. I know actually I've seen some really, really nice. There's some... I've seen some amazing photography of black eagles. Where I did my walking training, actually up in Mashatu, there was a big rock. It was a long walk. So, oh, look at these little black rabbits coming out the end. These eagles, well, I'm sure they're the same length, but they look like they've got really long legs. There was a rock called Eagle Rock. Anyone that's listening, if you've ever been to Mashatu, you might know Eagle Rock. And there was black eagles in the area. And sometimes from the rock you would see them almost swooping at eye height, but not images like this. This is so cool. That's something with 4 legs. Is it a dussy or something? Shame, it looks like it might be a dussy. What a stunning bird, and what a brilliant position for this camera. Thank you very, very much. Hatched on the 13th of June. So this little one is only a month old, but very, I was going to say competent, but that's not the right word. Very mobile, developing quickly. I saw when he opened his wings there, those little doogly little bits of black coming out the end of his wings there, turning into flight feathers.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
See, it looks like that adult is almost encouraging that young one to rip things up itself rather than be fed. Oh, yum 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 yum. This is such a cool camera though. Come, poor little birdie. Marlon, excellent question. Could snakes gain access to this nest? I'm not sure what's below it, but I would say there's much easier things for snakes to get to than here. I can't really see sort of what's around it, but snakes, they can't slither up straight rock faces. I mean, this is high as well. If there's trees or something that are overhanging, but that's often why birds pick nest sites, is for safety. Well, it's almost the main reason they pick nest sites. That's why you often see nests in trees in the middle of waterholes. So while snakes can cross water and then slither up trees, it's less likely. See, look, this little one was playing with his food too long, and they're helping now. Marlon, I'm going to say, I don't know, as usual. I can't see what's on either side of this nest. But it's not, if they can, it's not going to be easy. No problem. Wildlife lady, amazing to be able to watch this chick grow from such a close vantage point, such an up close and personal view, growing super quickly. What a absolute honour to be able to watch this from such an angle. What special things these cameras are able to give us. And I say it time and time again. So nice to be able to truly watch these animals without any interruption whatsoever. Part of my briefing that I normally give guests when I do game drives is quite high up on my briefing speech. My goal is to try and show you animals doing exactly what they would be doing if we were not present. My goal is to never get an animal or force an animal or encourage an animal to change any behaviours. It's not always possible. Animals have very clear boundaries, and it could be that an elephant's feeding or whatever, and you get close and they stop feeding. Even that is too much of a behavioural change for me. Ideally, I would like to be invisible in the bush. Some people don't, and I think a lot of it might be lack of understanding. So while animals are often relaxed with vehicles, that doesn't mean just because they don't seem to care that you should go close. And the longer I've been around and the longer I've been involved in wildlife viewing, I think if anything I've become even more respectful. Who am I to disturb nature? What right does what right do I have to get in anything's faces? Or even to the point of if you're viewing an impala, and even if they turn to look at you, that moment that they turn to look at you, it could have meant that a leopard was sneaking up on the other side and they didn't see it. I think I'm increasingly understanding of how nature deserves space and peace. And this is perfect. We are completely unintrusive of this stunning Faroese Faroese eagle or black eagle family. That just goes to show how often I see black eagles and eagle owls. I definitely see more eagle owls than black eagles, or Faroese eagles. New name. So I don't even know what that nest is suspended on it. I think it must just, they're very, very well known, these eagles, for their habitat is rocky areas, cliff faces, and I assume those sticks are just like they seem very secure though. I would love to know what the actual base structure for that nest is. Deb D, if you're a mum, you'd be paranoid that the chick would fall out before it is ready to fledge. Yeah, so would I. Nature's amazing though, isn't it? Because they normally don't. But no, Deb D, I agree. I would also be concerned that my little one, come away from the edge, sit down, no running around, no flapping around. And even when they start getting older and they start doing those flaps and they start jumping up and down, don't jump, sit down. But yeah, nature, instinct, whatever you want to call it, would not bode well for the survival of a species if all the birds that couldn't fly fell out all the nests, although some are designed for it. Which duck is it? I can't remember, but I know I've seen many clips of little ducklings launching themselves off cliffs and out of trees, and it's actually quite distressing to watch as they tumble across rocks, bouncing those tiny fragile little bodies off of rocks. But I think they mostly make it, and nature's obviously designed them to have good shock absorbing down, I guess.
Katika mwanga wa mwezi kivuli hutembea, mrembo mweusi anayepotea, macho yake ni taa, gizani huwaka, fuvu la msitu, malkia anayejificha.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Do you want to know why impala are the most common antelope we find here in the Kruger National Park? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live. Connect with nature.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing.
Incredible.
Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and early access to travel offers. The best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Or something, and that young chick will just try and swallow it, and you'd see the tail sticking out and they're struggling. And oh, something interesting I learnt today on World Snake Day, which makes complete sense. Oh, this is going to be disgusting. Oh, sorry if anyone's having their lunch. That's pretty gross. Huh. Wow, that's interesting. That to me, oh, another bit. That looked like intestine to me. Sorry if that's made anyone feel sick. But interesting that that adult ate that. And it actually took the intestine from the chick and took it back. It pulled it out of its gullet and ate it itself. Sorry if you're in the middle of lunch. And I wonder if that could be anything to do with not particularly delicious contents of the intestine, and the adult chose not to actually let the baby have it. That's interesting. I've not observed that before, but that would be my gut reaction on that, that if it is indeed a dussie, I mean dussies are their main food source. Dussies are herbivores, so that intestine is going to have herbivorous material in, which isn't particularly nutritious to these eagles. So maybe that adult fed it a bit of intestine, then went, oh no, that's not very good for you, you'll have that back. That's pretty gross though. Anyway, snakes, I learned down, it makes complete sense, but I read about it with some sort of clarity for the first time today. They can, change where their airway comes out. So if they're eating a huge prey item, their airway almost moves forward, so they can still breathe when they are swallowing a massive prey item, which makes complete sense. And I've noticed it, but never really considered it. But when you see snakes trying to swallow, well, anything big, which is normally the case, it would, what was that? It would block their airway, so that airway can actually move forward, so they can still breathe when they're swallowing big prey items. So happy World Snake Day. Wow, this is pretty gross. See, look, again, that adult ate that. I'm going to put that on my homework list. But that would be what I would think is going on there. So I've got lizard, lacto, monitor's udders, Asclepian snake in Wales, and eagle eating Intestines. Huh. That chick's like, can I have that bit? So I am looking forward to doing my homework on those 3 topics. But yeah, that was I would guess that is what was occurring there. Deb D. I'm glad you think I'm fun. I'm back again tomorrow with my homework. I think it's brilliant though. It's great. You know, life gets in the way sometimes, and accountability is important, and it gives me great excuses. I mean, will I have ever even considered lizard lactose digestibility and tolerance if it wasn't for being here? So it makes me very happy to be here. Look at those black feathers coming through. Yeah, and this little chickie's only a month old. So happy World Snake Day to everyone today. We are almost out of time. Thank you so much for joining us today. I will be back again tomorrow with a selection of homework. Hopefully we can come back to this little family again. Super cool. And so unintrusive to be able to observe slightly graphic things, but nonetheless absolutely fascinating. I'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We're heading out on a journey of natural discovery through some of South Africa's most beautiful and wilderness areas. The Greater Kruger, the Albany district of the Eastern Cape, and the mystical Waterberg. Each location has its own unique sense of place. Each offers something different, and all give a sense of peace and wonder. If you like what you see on Safari Spotlight, you can visit these special wild places by visiting Wild Earth Travel. We'll create your dream safari.